But I think every one of you here who is practicing law has achieved something very great in your own lifetime, except perhaps the age is in my favor. That is why they have probably thought it fit to confer this award on me. And every one of you will be potential awardees in future, because every one of you will have to be traveling towards that end. And many of you are great lawyers. Potential is there, and I am sure every one of you will reach this position where you will also in turn be felicitated. I thank Mr. Tamilmani and the committee of persons who have been assigned the role of selecting these awardees. And as far as my term as the president, which I was referred to back in 2008 and 10 as the president of the Madras Bar Association, one thing comes to my mind. That was the most crucial moment when there was a very big clash between the members of the legal fraternity and the police. And there was a big clash within the High Court campus, and I happened to be the president then, so I have to take the brunt of various negotiations. And at that time I went to Dr. K. Parasaran, who was giving me constant advice, whom I consider as my mentor in my legal profession. He is my Manasika Guru. Every time I had a doubt as to what should be the way out, I consulted him. He has been continuously giving me advice with the result that we have been able to solve the problem. My period as the president of the association is that when a number of members of the legal fraternity were hurt and were taken to the hospital, the government was not coming forward to give them any financial help. Probably they offered about 5,000 rupees each. And then we, the members of the Madras Bar Association, decided that they should not receive that amount. And on my requesting my colleagues and the members of the Bar Association on the telephone to give me a check for whatever amount they thought fit, at the end of the day I was able to collect 15 lakhs of rupees, which was immediately disbursed to the committee of members on the basis of the seriousness of the various injuries that they have sustained. And that is one thing that I must thank Dr. Parasaran for all the advice that he had given me. And I must also thank the members of the bar for the spontaneous response to a call for a generous cause. I can never forget this moment, and I am sure that every one of you will be able to reach this high position, and I am sure all of you are working towards that. I thank Mr. Tamilmani and all the other members of the committee for the honor done to me, and to all those who are present here to be witnessing this function. Thank you so much. The president of the association is going to give us a check for rupees 1 lakh or so. I would request the president to use it for such other purposes he thinks that is useful, and I don't think I will do it. More than that, Mr. V.T. Gopalan, senior advocate, has also started a trust for the welfare of the members of the fraternity, lawyer fraternity, called Advocates Welfare Trust. For that trust, I humbly give a check for rupees 1 lakh, and I give it to the president so that it can also be added to the corpus of the trust. Thank you so much.
May I request Dr. K. Parasaran to respond to the felicitations?
Justice, again, Lord Chief Justice of the Madras High Court, the Honorable Chief Guest today, Sri Gopalakrishna Gandhi, the President of the Bar Association, esteemed lecturers in Madras High Court, senior members of the bar, ladies and gentlemen, I feel too humble. The only occasion when I feel very emotional, I can hardly speak. I was born as a lawyer in this bar, and the Madras bar is my mother. Though I lost my mother in teens, my stepmother substituted for her for 20 years and brought me up. I therefore first pay my respectful homage to the memory of the Madras bar in which I was born, my revered mother whom I lost when I was 5, and my stepmother who brought me up for 20 years after my mother's death till I set up a separate family. Then I must start thanking the bar first. I must pay my homage to the memory of a revered father. The scriptures say, for every person has 5 fathers. Not that he has 5 fathers, but what they do as a father's duty. And I had that fulfillment in one individual, my father Kesavaiga. The 5 are the Janitacha, one who begot it, Punetascha, one who initiated it, Yascha Vidya Prayachati, one who caused your education, Anadratha Bhayadrata, who fed you with food, shelter and clothing, and who removed all apprehension and fear in you about your future by equipping you so that your future is taken care of. So I pay my respectful homage to my revered father, Kesavaiga, under whom I had a remarkable training which constituted the foundation in the bar. But that alone is not sufficient. One can learn 1/4 by his own brains. One can learn only 1/4 from the Acharya. The 1/4 comes only from his colleagues, fathers, so brahmacharya. And I learned law from colleagues. When I say I colleagues, very senior members of the bar and also very junior members of the bar. Those were days when you just walk into the association. There were groups of seniors sitting in different benches. If you have a doubt or a problem, just ask him. No consultation fee, no conference fee like the senior advocates of Supreme Court. Instantaneously you get the answer. You look into this particular Indian appeal page so and so. You look into this such case, they will give the name of the case. That is all. We are human employees, and it's a composite state. Madras, the Tamil speaking lawyers, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam. Anyone. No distinction of caste, creed or religion. That's all I learned from this bar. I was born in this bar, I learned in this bar, I practiced in this bar. 30 years is the maximum period of limitation of the present limitation act. I did 30 years here and then shifted to Supreme Court. It's a very difficult decision to take. By the time I had trained at least 30 or 40 juniors. At that time they were working in my office about 29 or 31 juniors. And everyone succumbs to a temptation, and I succumbed to the office of the Solicitor General and shifted there. I went with apprehensions, I went with trepidation. I saw the portraits of people like C.K. Gupti, the first Solicitor General. The number of Solicitor Generals and Attorney General's portraits I saw, I felt very nervous. But the first day I entered the court and argued the matter, I came out. I felt it's easier to argue in the Supreme Court than the Madras. I was completely at ease. And a lawyer, if you are sincerely practiced in the Madras High Court, you will have no difficulty in working before any court. I had good fortune. In 1984, the question I was got the first report of the human rights which India had to present before the Human Rights Committee of the United Nations. The question in the ministry was, whom should they appoint as the leader of the delegation? There was a suggestion that the Attorney General should go. A few people came to me. I told them I had never gone abroad. It was 1984. I had never gone abroad. The only place I have gone is Nepal, because of my pilgrimage to Bhutan. And I have absolutely no experience of abroad. I am myself feeling a little panicky that I have to address the Human Rights Committee of the United Nations. If you have confidence, I will certainly do my best. I said. Some of them had been reported back to the Prime Minister. Madam, this gentleman never gone abroad. I don't know what he will speak there. Should we have any think as to whom we should send? And a suggestion was made of a very eminent person. He was a great scholar in Hindi, great scholar in English, great scholar in Sanskrit, who became the High Commissioner in England, which Dr. Singhvi, President Singhvi's father. That name was even proposed. It was only a few minutes. She just looked up. What did he say? What did the attorney say? He told me this and then said, but this is the first time you are presenting your report, set up a correct and good tradition for setting up there. She just smiled for a while. My attorney shall go. 1 month, I have stopped looking at any case. I went through all the statutory provisions which involve human rights. I went through all the Supreme Court cases which involve human rights. Then in those days, this was Xerox. I had everything photocopied. A very big box I carried with me. I went there. Luckily for us, 18 countries put questions. They take 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. So they are answered only after all of them have finished questions. So every evening I get time. I go and work up. It is not one that I give already. I went through all the papers we had brought. Every day I used to prepare the answers. So only the last day question I had prepared, I would teach my answer that day itself. I carry over the next day and give answers for that. And who was accompanying me? Then by the Lord who I worship. From the school days, whenever I go to the school by walk, you have to cross the tower of the lPart4 temple. This is all I offered to him. Not even if my mind fully concentrated on him. I had a photograph. I had one sandalwood small Hanumanji. I put both before me. I first put a question. Supposing occasionally I quote something from Tamil or Sanskrit or their interpreters. Yes, they did arrange for it. They did arrange for it. Then once or twice I was a little fast when I was quoting Sanskrit. The light will be in there in red. That means go slow, go slow, go slow. I got my training to speak slow in that occasion. 18 countries. I was grilled. Everyone I answered. I answered by the grace of God. Then the report, the chairman was from Cyprus. He recorded a beautiful compliment. I won't quote it because it was self-praise. Ultimately concluded the way India's report was presented by the leader of its delegation, the Attorney should form the precedent and model when other third world countries present their to whom do I owe all this? I don't owe it to myself. No one can say, I achieved this. It is destiny. It's the grace of God which makes you achieve things. It's the blessings of your parents which make you achieve this. It is the blessings of the elder members of the board which make you achieve it. I had the good fortune of having set up a private practice. I set up a separate family private practice in 1956. And on the advice of a family, of a stepmother. That's very important. She taught me for 20 years. I still remember that. I have not made a memorial from my mother. I have made more one for her in her birthplace. I started separate practice. Learn to stand on your own legs, she said. I said I was going to my office for 6 months. When she said it, I stopped. I walked for 1 or 2 often as per bus charge. But I remembered her. She gave me very good advice. Try to learn and to stand on your legs. I did. Every day I used to only perambulate the temple, that's all. I started really reading Valmiki Ramayana from that day because some elder advised me. I used to correct in 3 months. Nowadays I take 10 months, 11 months, 1 year. 40 years was a period of struggle, 46 to 60. I never looked back thereafter. But I owe it not to myself. I owe it not only to them. I owe it to every member of the board. Several seniors have guided me. I go to the association, I told you. I go to the Advocates Association. Many of them used to be only there. Now Bar Association. In those days, they very, very bad states and very eminent people, even after going near them. M.S. Venkatramaiah, K.S. Naidu, on so many occasions. He has given me second appearance and CRP to be argued by me. Mr. K.S. Naidu. Sharifudi, No caste or creed. He used to Thambi, here is a second appeal. It ignores the estate land act Thambi, you please do it. This is the way seniors encourage. Number of them have preached. Sundaralingam, he has employed practice. He had lot of cases. No lawyer commanded so much work. He will never win any case. He will hand over to some other senior. He will not be able to go. So Mr. Vishwas Shastri very humorously said, if it is a single digit senior, he will go to so I don't want to mention the name. If it is a double digit senior, he will come to me. If it is a triple digit senior, he will go to Raja. 100 was a very big fee in those days. This is the way. But like there are so many opportunities I got in my chamber years now. P.C. Basadi, G. Gopal Swami, they used to give me some criminal division or second appeal or first appeal. It is that the bar took care of me. I was born here, it brought me up, it made me what I was here. I went to the Supreme Court, I had no difficulty in practicing there. I owe a debt of gratitude to this board which has worked, and today is a pinnacle. I am a recipient of some awards. No receipt of award embarrassed me so much. No award made me feel so humble. But today, I feel so humble, so embarrassed that I have been hearing compliments from my own members to whom I owe so much. I have no adequate words to thank you for your love and affection. I have no adequate words to thank you. Everything is destined. Everything is ordained. It is a coincidence today. Justice Satish Agnihotri is the acting Chief Justice. We have been together in the Supreme Court in a number of matters we were associated. We have been very good friends. Only when somebody becomes a judge, I never proclaim his name. He had known me in the Supreme Court till he became the Supreme Court judge of the TVR, opted to accept a judgeship. It is again a coincidence that Mr. Gopal Bhattacharya Gandhi is here. He is versatile, very knowledgeable. You saw the way he summarized and epitomized in a few minutes. In a few minutes, he said really a genius, and he was it, and very rightly the pedigree was referred to. I am connected with him, and he has guided me whenever I went to on a call by then President, Mr. Armagatram. His presence there was a source of strength for me. So it is again a coincidence that he is here. More so, Mr. Justice Benifullah and his father and I, as he rightly said, we were benchmates in the law college. We used to exchange our notes. So supposing one day I had not attended the class, he will give me his notes. So here when they not attended, I used to give my notes. That is how we used to exchange our notes to ourselves. And that's what I said, it is a very happy coincidence. And who are the colleagues who are with me today to receive this award? Justice Ratnamani Pandian. I am sorry I finished in 2 minutes because time is up. Ratnamani Pandian. One evening he came. That was the day of Deepam, Kritika Deepam in Tiruvannamalai. I was also helping my wife to write the dance. He said, both of us are immediately going to the law minister. I said, what? Madhavan has immediately summoned us. I said, no, I will take another half an hour. Because they are writing the dance, I cannot come in the middle. After I finished, we had some prasadam who took both of us. We went to law minister Madhavan. He said, the names of both of you are going to be reported, sent to the Chief Justice and recommended for appointment as judges in Madras. I told him, you withhold one name, you send the other. Well, he said, reasons will be given later. he was there. And he, Setharaman, they were appointed at that time as judges. This is my association that day, that is my association today with him receiving it. Everything is arranged, I don't know, it's God's will, because I am not sharing to both about me. Nobody can become a judge unless ordained. It is divinity which makes you judge. I was not blessed to become a judge. It was my fate and destiny that I should only be a lawyer. Therefore I became. Not because I was too big to say I don't want a judge. I told them I am very only for a lawyer. I have never made a good judge. Some people cannot, some people can make both. In fact, I told the 5 judges bench only just before the court closed. A lawyer who says, I have 40 years experience, you have only 20 years experience. You are worthy of saying it before a judge. Because the lawyer has got only 40 years experience as a lawyer. But the judge has the experience of having been both a lawyer and also being a judge. I said it because I was not ordained for it. He became a judge. Krishnamurti, we have interacted so many times. He's a very noble and gracious man. I'll phone up and then say, Mr. Krishnamurthy, I am coming there. He will not allow me. Within 10 minutes he will be at my house. Can you see such humility anywhere? His absolute humility, his generosity, the way he has been so kind and generous, not only to his juniors, but also to his colleagues, but also to his elder colleague. He calls me elder, I call him elder. To his elder colleagues like me. And I have also sought his guidance several times. He has been one of the remarkable personalities in this war and one of the fantastic joins of this war. I don't say it to flatter him because he does not require to be flattered. I say it because it comes from my heart. And the thing is, one more thing I should say. In 1949, I married twice. I married my noble wife Saroja. Then I married the zealous Mistress Law. Fortunately, there was not constituted an offence under the Bigamy Act. But unfortunately, every bloody man has greater affection and love towards second wife towards first wife. I suffered the pangs of having been more affectionate and love towards Lord's zealous mistress and spent lesser time with my wife. I regret it. Up to 2010, for 3 years I told her, I will come back, we must live together. Because I was daily, every weekend I used to make it. She was very jealous to come to Chennai. Every week I will come. Friday or Monday, club it Saturday, Sunday, return to Mrs. Matters and 3 days. I told her. She said, no, you must not return. I said, why? I am not asking you because of money, because we have made an understanding. Before I went to Delhi, the understanding was, we will have a division of labor. Earning is my duty, spending is your duty, it is your duty. After I shifted to Delhi, the understanding was 1/3 for tax, 1/3 for charities, 1/3 for family. She said, don't think I am saying, ask me to work because I want to give your duty here. The 1/3 which you give for the family also spend for charities. But the doctor says if you don't work, your longevity will be cut, your health will be affected. I went. 2010, March, she said, you must come back. March end or April first week. I was binding up. When the check case was dragging, I could come only on 30th April or 1st of May or 2nd of May. We could live together only for May, June, July 69. And it's again a coincidence, today happens to be her annual ceremony which I will perform. I must tell you, a man can be successful in his life only if he is blessed with a good and noble wife. It is the lady of the house who makes the man. It is the Gajalakshmi who makes the man. She was a wonderful lady. I am not saying it because she was my wife. I would never have become the Attorney General but for she being my wife. Because she took care of all the entire burden and responsibility. I knew only to read the case and argue with you. I did not know the price of any commodity. My mother-in-law regularly told one day when I was proceeding to purchase groceries, she said, don't send him. Why? He will purchase one big bag of mustard seeds and one handful of rice. He does not know what to purchase, what the price. Don't say. Therefore, I went to this bar where I was born. I went to the members of the bar. People terrorized. I used to be very beyond my office, even touch the page to argue by him. I always used to tell the page, if a junior appears, you should have no objection. But give it in writing, otherwise don't take back the bill. Please take back the bill. Therefore, this is the way I went to this bar in I was born. I went to the members of the board, seniors and juniors. I appeared with all the seniors in the Madras bar. M.K. Bhaiya, Mohan Kumar, Bhagat Emerson Vitramaya, K.S. Naidu, Shelfudi, number of others. I appeared against every one of them without a senior. That made me learn. I thank this bar so profusely for what all it has given me. What I have contributed is nothing. I have taken all the contributions from the bar. Having done that, how dare shall I take your contribution of 1 lakh now also as an amount? I shall not. It will be returned with interest. It is open to the President to deal with it as he likes for a public purpose. And I am seriously thinking that if I gave a return today, it will look awkward, but it will bear interest and come at the appropriate time. With these 2 words, I thank every one of you individually. I offer my prostrations to all of you collectively because a Sadhus has got a right to bless even a person who will be completing 87 years on the 9th of October and commences 88th. I pray for your blessings for myself, good health, so that I don't suffer either physically or mentally, and have the day of peace. I thank you so much for the kindness. And very happy memories of this occasion. And hereafter, I may not accept any other award, because this is the pinnacle of all the awards which I have received. Thank you.